Hello, friends. The live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast comes to you today, courtesy of the Kent County Health Department. In and around where I live here, just like any other place, you got a ragtag bunch of individuals trying to make the world a better place while we slog our way through this craziness and nonsense. All right? And while we process, there's this group at the Kent County Health Department, and basically all health departments, they want you healthy. And I'm here to tell you that the Kent County Health Department is hard at work via their website, accesskent.com, with any questions you might have about pandemic stuff, whatever it is that you might need to help you through these tough times, accesskent.com/health. Whether it be news about the vaccine where it's like, oh, God, we don't have any. That seems to be the thing right now. And it's like, my God, we have got to get this done. Move faster. Somebody send the stuff in. They're doing the best they can. Also, COVID testing. That is very, very important. And on and on and on. Don't let the kids go without their other vaccinations as well. That is key. Vaccinate as much as you can. All right. Don't believe all the nonsense from the loudmouth saying, no, vaccinations, man, they're not good. I choose death. Shut up. My God. accesskent.com/health. Also, if you're struggling and you need food on the table, the WIC program might be for you. Hey, you pay into it all your life. You might as well take advantage of it when you need it. Thank you, Kent County Health Department. We've got a paintball event coming up. That is the 21st of January. Less than a week away. Okay. Next week, Thursday, TC Paintball, 6 p.m. Reach out to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com, or just click on the event invite on Facebook that you're going. I need an official head count. So if you could, subject line paintball, and just let me know that you are coming. All right. And how many in your party. That's going to cost you $35, and it'll be a nice way to have some fun for a change. You know, paintball is inherently socially distant because you're trying to stay away from the other guy and you're wearing a mask. So there you go. $35 get you the paint, the gun, the mask. We have a pizza party that starts ahead of time. Free pizza party, free soft drinks, all there from BC Pizza in Grand Rapids on Lake Michigan Drive. So thank you to everybody involved. And if you want in, it is coming up on Thursday the 21st. That is Paintball War 11. One bourbon, one shot, one kidney, the name of that one. All right. It is the 15th of January, 2021, coming to you from the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio. Baldwin Ace Hardware, a beacon of DIY awesomeness in the Northland. The Eric Zane Show podcast begins now.
Hey everyone, Kenny from Nashville here. And after a long day of listening to some crappy death metal, I like to unwind with the Eric Zane Show podcast. Yeah. Here's your host, Eric Zane.
What's up? All right. Thank you, Kenny. This is a daily podcast, Monday through Friday, where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Several ways you can get the show. Hey, great job on the sharing yesterday on Facebook. I appreciate that. If that was you yesterday, make it again today. Let's set a goal for 15 shares on the Facebook video. Okay, I would love that. So if you're enjoying the show on Facebook, share it right now. Please share away. The more people that see it in your feed, the more people are exposed to the Eric Zane Show podcast. That's how we build this thing. Here we go. Okay, so yes, on Facebook, live each and every morning, facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page, brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Some folks like it on Twitter. Okay, a Periscope video on Twitter. Please follow me on Twitter, at Eric Zane Show. The Periscope video is brought to you by Blue Frost IT. Retweet the hell out of it. Thank you. And then on YouTube, Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Eric Zane Show. Subscribe to it and hit the bell notification, let you know when I am on YouTube, and then hit the thumbs up like button. Thank you. That is brought to you by F45 Training in Byron Center, Michigan. Now with restrictions lifted for now. You never know when it's going to go back. My God. I'm on Instagram, Eric Zane Show. Follow me on there because I do Instagram instant trivia every Wednesday for cash. Instagram brought to you by the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. If you haven't noticed, everything on this show is sponsored. My dogs are sponsored by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. That is O'Neill and Bruce. Let's see. The email is sponsored by Shoreliners Striping. Thank you to them. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. And the email of the day is sponsored by Forever Lawn West Michigan. All of this shit is like how I eat. It's how I actually survive and keep the lights on. And somehow I've managed to eke out more than 2 years worth of living doing this. Thank you. And that's because of you, the audience, who visits the sponsors' websites, patronizes them, whatever it is you may do. You hire them when you need them. It's when the message meets the need. That's how I market. I tell you about these great places, these great businesses, these institutions, these pillars of commerce. And then if you need them, you call on them. So thank you so much for all of that. If it wasn't for you, the audience, and the sponsors, and of course, if it wasn't for me, we would have no show. But we've managed to do it. What the hell, you know? Okay. So plenty to get into today, and I am glad you are here. It is end of a busy week, and I tell you what, it continues busy throughout the day. And I tell you what, as the level of busyness continues to rise for your old pal Eric Zane, I just freaking relish the weekends, man. And it's like seems like more and more. It's almost like I was saying to Diana, I go, it's like the days are running together. It's almost, and I've talked to you about this before. It all is one big ball of, oh my God, working long hours, which is great. I mean, I'm not complaining. Could be worse to build a podcast. And then when you mix in anxiety and just the daily stressors, wow, man, I never thought this would be me. I actually heard from somebody the other day who said, man, thank God you talk about your anxiety. Thank God you do. Because if you hadn't, my God, I don't know where I would begin, because I struggle with that too. Who wrote that? Where is that one? Let's see. In fact, this will be your Forever Lawn West Michigan. Find them online, foreverlawn.com/WMI. This will be your email of the day. Brandon wrote, Zane, congrats earlier this week on podcast number 500. I truly appreciate you and your discussions on the anxiety. Truth be told, let me hold on a second. When I used to hear about people with anxiety, I was the guy who went, oh, yeah, whatever. Boy, you got the blues. Who cares? Oh, what a pussy. That was me. Oh, my God. It's such a weirdo thing that just creeps into your soul. Imagine, okay, hold on a second. Imagine if you're, let's say, right now I'm not having an anxiety attack. I would tell you if I was. Imagine you've got a family, a job, you work hard, money's might be a little tight, but could be worse. And you've worked hard building your career, and you're well liked, and you have friends, and then your brain tries to trick you that you are terrible. No one likes you. Your wife's going to leave you. Your job's going to dry up. You're going to have no money. And just an awful set of circumstances is presented to you in your brain. and you believe it. So that's it. And then you sit there and you don't know what to do, who to turn to, and then you might like talk to your wife and say like, hey, so, and then and it's tough on her because she's heard it a million times and she doesn't know. She's like, oh, she doesn't know what to do with you. It's like, oh God. And then people just have the urge to say, "You'll snap out of it" or something like that, and it's not quite that simple. Oh my God! And I don't even know. I don't have an answer because I go through this just like you. I mean, we're in the same boat, and sometimes it's tricky because you might have a day where it's just you can just feel it a little bit, and then other days it's like really, really substantial, and it's more. It's almost like you can grab onto it. It's not just like a little bit. It's a lot or somewhere in between, and you don't have any rhyme or reason when the hell is going to hit you. That's it. That's what it is. So, and then it's for me, it's gradual. You kind of like fall into the funk, and then you slowly come out of it. It's like rolling hills. To me, it's not like drop down and then back up and then drop down. And it's all kind of like that, for me. Other people's different. So I do the best I can to try to get through it. And frankly, a lot of success I get is from discussing it with you. So I know that there's a ton of people that have the same fucking bunch of horse shit. And, oh God. So that's where this comes from with Brandon. I was having one yesterday, and I'll explain why. An anxiety attack, and he says, "I truly appreciate you and your discussions on the anxiety." My God, he said, when I was in high school, my dad stopped working and struggled with that, and then it says, and driving for the rest of his life. I think he means literally driving. I've always wanted to be better than that, but my anxiety is all over recently. I'm unhappy where I work, and it's causing me to be incredibly anxious every morning. I've attempted to look for a job, but that makes me just as anxious, and I don't follow through. That might be the snake in the grass right there. I'm afraid I'll end up like my dad and not working or driving and barely going anywhere. I'm college educated in accounting and music. I've worked constantly since I graduated college in that field, as well as janitorial and currently sanitation. So I have a lot of different experiences, but I never feel like I'll be good enough. Oh man, you're preaching to the choir. I just needed to vent, and you've mentioned reaching out of dealing with things like that. I keep trying to think through what you've said over time on the podcast and use it to help me through. Thanks so much for what you do and not being afraid to talk about important things. Signed, Brandon. That is your Forever Lawn email of the day, Forever Lawn, West Michigan. But let me just tell you this, man, speaking to you directly. For me, I tend to feel this more in the late stages of the day. So I've acknowledged that. And I'm like, I probably need to go to bed. And then usually when I do finally fall asleep, if I don't have an anxiety attack while I'm laying in bed, then when I do fall asleep at some point, I get up and it's like, okay. All right, great. So that helps me. And then pushing through, okay. I talked to a friend, family member of a person, I should say, who I know is going through this right now. And I said to the family member, I go, when I feel bad, I usually just go outside and run. Just run, like for a half an hour out, half an hour back, or take a walk. Something physical needs to happen. Maybe some type of strength training. That does alleviate. And then consistency with that does help. Making more time. I think allowing yourself more time to actually get what you want done. Because when you finish things, that does, for me, help. And it could be, when I say finish things, I mean like making the bed or cleaning the bathroom. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's just what helps me. When I have a list of things that I have to do each day and I actually accomplish them, that helps. So there's that. Trying not to let things pile up. Always, it's almost like you have to really work at not sitting by idly. For me, that's key. If I find myself just sitting there doing nothing, then my brain starts to play tricks on me that, hey, you could be doing something to further yourself, to complete your goals or whatever. Oh, my God. So it's almost like the weekend when I'm supposed to relax. I don't really relax that much, but I do take that time to get actually more things done that have been bothering me that aren't done. Like when I was talking to you folks about getting like shit done around the house. That's the time for me to do that. So I don't know, man. It's kind of one big ball of that big mess. So for lack of a better term. But keep at it and keep moving your feet. Try not to sit still, and just hang on. And I think also recognizing that, hey, this is not working, and then going in a different direction is also okay. You can do that too, as long as your bases are covered and you don't like throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. All right, thank you. Brandon, you've helped me, my friend, because when I can then explain the idiosyncrasies and the weirdo things that go on in my ridiculous brain right now that I never thought I would have to deal with, holy shit. Oh, God, that helps me. So thank you to you. All right. That's the thing about the Eric Zane Show podcast. I had no intention of any of that happening on this show today. And then once the little blue light on the camera goes on, and I know that we're recording and we're actually podcasting to the world, then just things creep in. That's the benefit of ADHD. Stand by. Sorry, when I do that, it's because I have to cough or clear my throat or something like that. Today, what would you do if you had not $100,000, not $1 million, not tens of millions of dollars? What would you do if you had hundreds of millions of dollars? This story, son of a bitch, locked in a safe, and you lost the key. By the way, I say this preemptively. If you know the outcomes of my stories and you already know my stories and you're watching the live stream, please don't reveal the ending. Shh. Just let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Yeah, let it. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. All right. This has actually happened to a guy. What would you do? How would you? Oh, talk about anxiety. There's no coming back from that. Are you kidding me? Even if Eric's giving you this little pep talk, there's how can you come back from that? Okay, there's a podcast called The Dale Jr. Download. And it's a podcast that's almost as successful as this one. It's probably a little bit behind me in the standings, in the podcast standings. Yeah, right. Dale Earnhardt Jr. It's called The Dale Jr. Download. And I didn't know anything about it until I saw the story. I saw that he had NASCAR driver Ken Schrader on. Now, I actually used to follow NASCAR quite a bit. And in February of this year will be 20 years since the passing of Dale Earnhardt. That's, of course, Dale Jr.'s father. And there was an amazing moment on that show that I am going to share with you that surrounds the passing of Dale Sr. Ken Schrader, when that incident happened, he was a key player in all of that. And, wow, it's just something fantastic. I know that there's one Kevin Corbat, listener of this podcast, who is just going to be like, oh, man, he's talking about that. That's incredible. So, yeah, I'm going to get into that. We have an update on a husband and wife team in Kalamazoo, Michigan, who cops say hire teen boys so that the boys can take the wife to Pound Town. We've talked about this before, and this story continues to progress. The legal wheels are turning. Proud Mary, keep on wording, rolling, 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 rolling. I don't know what my deal is today. We have an update on the invading Australian pigeon, wait a minute. It would be the pigeon invading Australia. You know, they mobilized the defense team in Australia because this pigeon apparently came from Oregon all the way to Australia, took off flying from Oregon. They suspect it landed on a freighter, and then it kind of like hitched a ride and then flew the rest of the way. And in Australia, that's a big problem. I have an update on that story. We got a football weekend, and the loser teams, like my Lions, are filling jobs left by the losers who help keep them in loser status, okay? The Jacksonville Jaguars are in the news, and my Lions are in the news, okay? But first off, let's touch on this. The anxiety train got fired up last night at one key point. First of all, I was extremely busy again. I keep falling into this rut of not being able to put the podcast away for another day. You know, I mean, if you would start the workday at, because I start my workday at about 7 a.m. We start podcasting at 8 a.m. It's me. There's no one else. I prepare. I come up with what I want to talk about between 7 and 8. I have an idea because it's never-ending cycle. But so I start to put pen to paper, if you will. Podcast, 8 a.m. And then, like, the day goes on. There's a million and one things to do. And I never really put it down, okay? And it's a big problem. No bullshit. You know, 8-hour workday. All right, 9-hour workday. Sometimes 10-hour workday once in a while, okay? That's fair, isn't it? It's an honest day's work, right? 40 hours, maybe 50. It never goes that way. It's always 12, 14 hours of doing shit related to the podcast. Well, it's what I do. I'm not complaining. It's just the way it is. And if you're somebody who I'm a small business owner, you know exactly what that is, man. Somebody's got to do this shit. It's not going to get done by itself. I have no one to yell at, so it's got to get done. But then, you know, when things household related weave into it that have to get done, okay? So Diana's like, look, hey, so that federal student, what is it? How do you say it? Financial aid form. You have to fill out the application for Madison College. Yes, I've been meaning to do that. Thank you. I'm glad you reminded me. So, you know, you sit there and you fill out all this stuff, and then they start asking for mom and dad tax info. So I pull up the information from the last tax year because I have it. I just look up Troy Ginzer on my email. He sent me my return, of course, way back then. I just pull it up. There you go. I've got, line 11B. Put it in. Okay, great. Done. I'm looking at the screen Madison is filling out. We're doing this together, you know, father, daughter. And then it says, click the next button to go to the next step. And then it says, students' tax information. And I started getting a little hot behind the ears. And she goes, okay, Dad, she doesn't earn a lot of money, but she does. She goes, okay, now I need my tax information. And I go, wow. Now, months ago, you know, we had the extension for taxes. You know where this is going, don't you? Because of COVID. I am one of the Americans who, well, I didn't drop the ball for myself, but I did for her. We never fucking did her taxes. So here we are filling out the financial aid thing, which you need her tax shit. And it hasn't been done. I mean, it hasn't been mailed in. And boy, the look on her face, 18-year-old girl looking at me, she goes, you never did the taxes? You told me you were going to. No, I told her. I go, I'll take care of it. I didn't do it. I didn't do a damn thing. I didn't lift one finger. I go, yeah, I never did it. In fact, I just completely dropped the ball. And the tax documents that your employer sends you about how much money you earn and how much you paid in taxes is still in an envelope right over on the shelf in the other room. So I'm like, yeah, no big deal. And she's like, no, I think it is. I go, no, I got a guy. He's going to take care of it for me. So quite literally, I called up Troy Ginzer, Tag County, and I go, hey, man, how's it going? He's not bad. I go, yeah, are you burning the midnight oil yet on returns, working with the clients? He goes, no, we're getting there, but not yet. I go, okay, so this is what's up. I go, I never filed Madison's return. Silence. He goes, you never did it. I go, yeah. And so so sparing you the boring details, he goes, yeah, okay, this has to happen. Do it, like stop everything and do it. So that was my night. And now with her very basic return, it wasn't a big deal. Normally I would just make him do it, but I'm like, well, yeah, now I don't want to be, one of the 8 million things you have to do at this time of year. And I want to do it right immediately. So I did. I'm sitting there with my glasses on, a calculator, forms, pain in the ass, fucking hating myself, anxiety attack, Madison and Diana behind me tapping their foot because I screwed this whole damn thing up. I'm like, oh, God. So I take full responsibility for this fiasco. But I got it done. I did get it done. So, yes. I feel good about that now, but yet another example of the of just the pile of things that affect me on a day-to-day basis that throw me into the arms of anxiety. We had hockey last night. The Red Wings looked horrible. I was so excited about the start of hockey season, but well, no, I take it back. I was only moderately excited about the start of hockey season because to me, it just sucks without the fans. It's just, I don't know. It just seems too weird to me. Oh boy, they pipe in the sound for the fans, and then they introduce the teams, and then the players just seem, I don't know. They already have that look in their eye, like they hate their lives. They're actually doing the introductions, and everybody looks pissed, and there's no fan interaction. It's just a made-for-TV event. It's shitty. My God, and then they stunk. Boy, did they stink. Carolina beats them 3-0. Peter Mrazek gets the shutout. I don't even know who this goalie is the Red Wings have. Man, I don't know. Not looking good at all. But also on the hockey front, as you know, I do the PA for the Grand Rapids Griffins. But guess what? This year, I am not doing that. What? What are you talking about? Okay. I've got something even more exciting than that. It's like, how can that possibly be exciting that you're not doing PA? A guy named John Hoffa is doing the PA. This year with the Griffins, there's no fans. And the only thing the PA announcer needs to do is announce the goal and announce the penalties. There's nothing more that needs to happen. There's no firing up the fans. There's no looking at the camera. Griffins, hockey begins now. No, none of that shit. Let's play. I even forgot what I was supposed to say. Let's play Griffins hockey. Point at the camera, none of that. So they go, we want you in a different role. And I go, okay, what are we doing here? Well, the league, what they're going to do this year, what the Griffins are going to do this year is because on a normal league, normal night with no pandemic, the Griffin, I'm sitting there doing PA, and I will be going back to that job. But on a normal night, the game is broadcast on AHL live.com. I think that's the website. I should probably get this because I actually want you to sign up for it. AHL.com. Oh, the AHL.com. And then when you click on it, it says watch every game live. Sign up now. So the feed of the game goes to AHL TV. And typically the gameplay happens, and then when the intermission happens, there's a like a graphic that says back after the Zambonis scrape the ice. The way it's going to be now is the Griffins are doing like where the game will be going on, and then at the intermission, they're going to throw it to me in a makeshift studio that they have at ice level. I'm up on like scaffolding platforms with monitors around me. And I'm like, well, that's the end of the first period. Griffins have a 2-0 lead. Goals from Joey Hicketts and whoever else, and stellar goalie play. Let's take a look at the highlights. And so I'm going to be like hosting this thing like friggin' John Keating on Fox Sports Detroit. So, yeah, that's something new. And they're doing this to kind of like plug into the fans a little more. And they said, well, Zane kind of does stuff on camera all the damn time with us, and he does it in the podcast, and he's pretty good at thinking on his feet. So, all he has to do is do a handful of minutes for 2 intermissions, and then just call it a night. What do you, do you want the job? Well, fuck yeah, I want the job, of course. I'd be a fool not to. Now, make no mistake, there's not a ton of people that watch this, but more people will watch it because that's really the only way you're going to be able to see the hockey games. You can listen on the radio, but so that's if people want, they can watch it and then hear Kaiser's call that matches up with the video, and then they're going to throw it over to me for whatever we do. There's going to be fans who are watching on Zoom that I'll be able to interact with. And that's about all I know about this. This is quite literally that we have an idea of how to do it, but we're not even entirely sure what exactly we're going to be doing. This is 100%, well, let's figure it out as we go, which is right up my alley. This is how I do everything. Figure it out as I go. And usually the first few games are the ones you really want to watch, because those are going to be the ones that are going to be the train wrecks. I mean, you're going to see just stupid things happening that shouldn't be happening as we think, oh, let's not do that anymore. You might see me picking my nose or get frustrated, have an anxiety attack, and throw my headphones. I have no idea. But, yeah, this is something fun, and I just had a meeting with them yesterday. So, all right, that's how we'll be doing it. And there's I think the Griffins only have like 32 games this year, 16 of which are at home. But that's what's happening. So I'd figure I'd get you up to speed and all of that. Okay, there you go. That's the intro of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Commercial for myself. Patreon, you can sign up, patreon.com/Eric Zane. Sign up for the full year. You save 10%. Instead of going month to month, you can change it any time. So if you've been on Patreon month to month, every month, well, just transition it over to a full year if you know you're going to keep it. Tonight, the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast happens. Ben at his house, me at mine, doing it Zoom and putting it out via live stream to all of you on Patreon. This has turned out to be a real blessing, okay? It's great when Ben's in here, but I don't know. It's a different vibe when we're doing it on a live stream. And if you sign up for my Tier 2 membership, patreon.com/Eric Zane, you can be part of that. You can comment on it as it goes. And I'm going to invite members of the audience in to join us on the Zoom to play Bet on Ben. Okay, we did this last week. We're going to do it again this week. You could win upwards of $1. No, you could win a lot more than that, actually. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen, because the first question, if you get it right, you win $1, and then you have a chance to keep doubling your money. The highest that we had a chance someone to win last week was like $8. And then I think Amanda blew it. Her bet did not match Ben's answer, and she lost all her cash. But you have the opportunity to either take your cash or keep doubling it. So we'll play that. It's got to be fun. 7 p.m. Eastern time is when that podcast starts. All right? The Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. I say 7. No, it's got to be 7. It's always seems to be a little later. You know how it is with me. But yeah, the goal is 7. Either way, it's going on, and you'll get the notification if you're signed up. And then the video live stream is recorded and made available on there afterwards for you to enjoy whenever, and or the audio podcast is also there if that's the way you want to go. But you got to sign up on Patreon to take advantage of this. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. I got a managed IT service provider. My friends at Blue Frost IT. Alan logged on yesterday. He said, all right, I got to check out what's going on in your world, Eric. Blue Frost IT, 616-200-8550. Took a look at my computer. It's just one of the things he does for me. Email info@bluefrostit.com. Look, this works if you're a business or if you're just an individual who's got a computer issue. Alan can fix your computer, all right, or improve it. Alan took this junky laptop that I have that is slow and horrible, and I had him install fitted a new hard drive, a new power source, and he cleaned the hell out of it, both the hard drive and actually cleaning the inside, like blowing it out because it had like piles of dog hair in it. No joke, it was gross. That old 10-year-old laptop is what powered my trip to California. Well, it didn't power the plane, but you know what I mean. When I was podcasting from California, I used that laptop and it worked flawlessly. If you have any needs computer-wise, I have a guy for you. Blue Frost IT. Again, email info@bluefrostit.com or call them 616-200-8550. If your workplace needs to have a brand new computer network set up, this is the team to do it. Okay, suggest this to the boss. Or if you are the boss, reach out to Alan. Moving to a new location, you need an entire new setup. Blue Frost IT, they do it all. BlueFrostIT.com. Info@BlueFrostIT.com is the email, or call them 616-200-8550. Then, as I mentioned earlier in the show, Tag Accounting. 'Tis the season. Reach out to Troy Ginzer at Tag Accounting. Online at tagcpa.net. You can email Troy at tagcpa.net and say, hey, Zane sent me. I want you to do my taxes. That's all you need to say. In fact, subject line, Eric Zane. Send it to Troy at tagcpa.net. Troy, Zane told us that you will do our taxes. Can you please do this? Yes. tagcpa.net. Accounting, professional service, tax preparation service. All right. Also, the phone number 616-301-9516. So when I'm dropping off my daughter's tax returns that are 6 months late, I'm going to swing by and buy a lottery ticket. I am going to buy. This is when this is how the jackpots get so big. When people like me who don't normally buy tickets, you know. And then you oftentimes hear about the guy who buys $500 worth of tickets and of course doesn't win anything. And then the one dude who buys the one and he ends up winning the whole damn thing. I kind of wish I would hear more where are they now stories about lottery winners. I oftentimes wonder about how lottery winners, I think that could be a documentary, how lottery winners cope with the alarming change in their lives, with the disruption of $750 million. And I say that seriously because, if you win that type of money and the world finds out about it before you're ready, that can be messy, man, because then you're freaking out that somebody's going to try to kill you or break into your house. I mean, that's how my mind works. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't want the world to know about it. I would never want the world to know about it. In a perfect world, I find that crazy that you have to let everybody know. In most cases, it's almost impossible to get away with winning that thing and being anonymous. That's not. I think there's a few steps that you have to do that make that possible. I think there's there is something you can do. And I would want that to happen because I wouldn't want anybody to know about it. The anonymity would be key. Wouldn't that be fucking cool if like you win the lottery and the only person that knows is like your significant other and no one has any idea? Because I think that when you have that type of money, the way people interact with you is, I mean, everything's different. And then you don't know if there's that dilemma. Are they only being sweet to me and reaching out to me because I have $750 million? You know, I think that would mess with my mind. So I would make every effort to be anonymous and then not like to hoard it, because believe me, I swear to God, I would give it all away. It would all disappear. My job would be, I'd do the podcast. I'd have a lot less stress. Probably wouldn't have the anxiety attacks that I have now worrying about the future because I don't have to worry about money. And then when I get done with it, and the podcast would probably be fantastic because there's no fucking pressure whatsoever. I take it back. It'd probably be just the same level of ADHD inspired rants and stories. But then, you know, I'm done. And I wouldn't have to have so much pressure like selling it, you know, in order to make money because whatever, you know, I don't have to anymore. So there's that aspect would leave. And then, you know, just basically watch the news, pay attention to, you know, hey, somebody on Division's house burnt down. And then, you know, you just kind of swoop in there. And then, you know, the old guardian angel, pay it forward type of shit. That's your job. Okay. And then helping those who need it. Just, I would love that. And then, but you got, it has to be anonymous. You know, you don't want the world to change for you as soon as they find out that you're a mega millionaire. That can be weird, man. So, all right. Not that I'm going to win the damn thing, but wouldn't that be something? Be something if any of you won this thing. So the Powerball Jackpot, $640 million. That is drawn Saturday. The Mega Millions is drawn tonight. It's worth $750 million. My God. Phew. The odds of winning jackpots are 1 in 292 million for the Saturday drawing, 1 in 302 million for today's drawing. My God. Yeah, it's the sheer odds. The fact that if you're sitting there looking at your numbers on the little slip of paper, and then so it's the motion of looking down and then looking up at the screen, and then right away recognizing that there are several matches, but you're not entirely sure how many. Okay, so then you go right away. You'll have a rush of adrenaline that something good here. So that happens in 1 second. Then you grab a pencil, and then you look at the screen and you see a 4, and then you circle the 4. A 19, you circle the 19. The 23, and then you go through the whole sequence. That has happened many times to people. Seriously, I think I would fucking die. I would have a heart attack right there when I would just sit back like, what the fuck just happened? Oh, I don't even like, it's just heavy. I mean, it would be great, but it's just, it's concerning to a nervous idiot like me. Even worse would be having the money locked away, and then you can never get to it because you lost the key. Have you been following this story of this poor son of a bitch who I think this person might have the strongest brain mentally in the history of the earth. This guy is steely-eyed. This dude, his name is Stephen Thomas, has a fortune in Bitcoin. Now, I don't know a lot about Bitcoin. I know it's a cryptocurrency, and I'm not sure how it works. I'm not sure how the value is created. Doesn't matter. But all I know is that this guy's Bitcoin fortune is worth $220 million. All right. So it's not a physical thing. There's nothing physical like an actual dollar bill. It's all an online currency. So you do it that way, I guess. Again, I have a limited knowledge about this damn thing. But his $220 million in Bitcoin is locked away behind a password. And this guy forgot the fucking password. And for 9 years, he has been racking his brain trying to remember the password. Now, how? Okay. If you have earned somehow $220 million either in cold hard cash or investments or stocks or Bitcoin, I'm guessing you're not a dummy. You know, occasionally somebody will cash in big who's probably not the sharpest pencil in the pencil box, but I would say for the most part, if you're probably a pretty sharp person. How could you possibly have been so reckless with something as important as the one thing that separates you between you and your money? $220 million is locked away. And here's the particulars on the story. Dudes from San Francisco cannot remember the password to unlock the fortune. He says he long ago made peace with the reality that he may never gain access. This story went viral this week after a New York Times profile revealed that Stephen Thomas talked to the world about his unsettling dilemma. The password to unlock his Bitcoin fortune is locked in a hard drive that gives users 10 attempts before it's wiped clean. So it just goes away, I guess. He's tried it 8 times. He has 2 more tries. So can you imagine 9 years ago when he went and he just went, you know what? I think I've forgotten the password. That feeling that would wash over him. And he's like, oh my God, I don't think I have it. And then the subsequent attempts. And then it says you have 9 more tries. You have 8 more tries before your fortune leaves you. 7 more tries before your suicide. I mean, my God. Huh. 9 years to process it. Quote, there were sort of a couple weeks where I was just desperate. I don't have any of this guy must be one of the mentally strongest people mentally on the planet. To have 200. I mean, this is the type of thing where someone says, well, yeah, but at least you got your health. You say, fuck you. Oh my God. I don't have any other word to describe it, Thomas said, recalling how he felt when he first learned he couldn't find his password in 2012. This is the guy. Oh man. It's like, this is the type of story that I want to say that they do a GoFundMe for him, but no, fuck this guy. He can't remember his password. He's got $220 million. You sort of question your own self-worth. I need to know more. I need to know, like, if his wife left him, if his kids hate him or something. There's got to be more to this. We got to do a documentary about this guy. What kind of person loses something that important? Yes, that is the question, and that's what he says. But he says, time heals all wounds, he added. And over the years, he said he has made peace with his loss. Oh, my God. How? It was actually a really big milestone in my life, he says, where like I sort of realized how I was going to define my self-worth going forward. He said it was going to be about how much money I have in my bank account. It almost sounds like a religious story. Like he's come to grips with it, and he's like, you know what? I still have all these great things to look at it and be thankful for. He says, that's all great and altruistic, but losing 220, I take it back. The author of this article says, that's all great and altruistic, but losing 220 million, that's sure to stress out even the most genuine of people. Thomas said since the New York Times profile, hundreds of people around the world have reached out to him with advice, some serious and some silly. One person suggested, have you tried the word password? He joked, some people have recommended various mediums, psychics, prophets that I could talk to. Some people are suggesting something called nootropic memory enhancing drugs. So far, he hasn't done any of that. Ian Scher, editor-at-large at CNET News, explained that Thomas's situation is not that uncommon. The way that Bitcoin works and that this technology works is that it's all meant to be anonymous. Scher said, but a lot of the data is actually hidden behind a specific password that you have to get into your account. Scher said there are many people who bought Bitcoin years ago when they were worth very little, wrote down their password somewhere, and just thought it wouldn't be a thing. And now it's worth millions, he said. And they're sitting there racking their heads to figure out where that piece of paper is or what their password might have been. So what's the best advice for storing and remembering passwords? We had CNET recommend that you use a password manager. My God. That's crazy that there's not a forgot password, click here. But I guess it just doesn't work that way. Are you like me? Who does same password for everything? That might be me. Might not. I don't know. Could possibly be me. I'm like, why do I have to change it? How do you save it? I mean, because they if you write it down and then save it on your computer, what if someone hacks into your computer? If you write it down and save it onto a document on your phone, what if that gets hacked? Is it write it down on a physical piece of paper and put that in a safe spot? I know I don't do anything appropriate. The password manager, it's a single app that sits in your computer or your phone and hides behind one password. And it's a good one. The app, for example, they say this guy uses a line of poetry. The app then creates other passwords for you that are random and meant to be really hard to crack. It works really well because you don't have to remember anything anymore, he said. You just have one thing. Thomas said he decided to share his story in hopes it prevents others from making the same mistake he did. He said, if you do get a digital wallet, make sure you have a plan to secure and remember your password. My God, this poor son of a bitch. Somebody's got to at least buy this guy a beer. $220 million. That's enough to drive you crazy. I hope he's successful enough that he can just forget about that and make more money in doing something else. But my God, how the hell does Bitcoin work anyway? What is... I'm massively confused. I've never understood it. I think I've actually taken steps to try to figure out how that is and how you actually do it. I mean, how do you do it? How much? Like if you buy one Bitcoin, cost one Bitcoin. One Bitcoin equals $37,571. Okay, so now I see a graph similar to like the Dow. And if I click max, I can see that it is exceptionally valuable. Wow. So one Bitcoin on November 20th, 2015 cost $327. So I mean, if you were to drop a pretty decent amount of cash into that, let's say 327, and you bought 50 Bitcoins. That's $16,350. That's how much it's going to cost you. Those 50 Bitcoins now, when you paid $16,350 for all of them, what would I do now? This is Eric math. Okay, all of my Bitcoins, my 50 Bitcoins, cost $16,350. I'm just going to take 50 times 37,571. Now, what was $16,000 is now $1.878 million, $1,878,000. That's impressive. Son of a bitch. Well, okay, so my next question is, that's all well and good, but is that ever converted to actual cash? How can you take that money and like spend shit or spend it on things? Does that is it like an online transaction where they say we take Bitcoin? This is where I have exhausted my knowledge about this. I need to dig into this and find out how this works on my own. If anyone can give me a synopsis, anybody who has any information and wants to be the Forever Law in West Michigan email of the day at some point, explain to me how Bitcoin works, because I have no clue. Too old. It's a football weekend, yeah. I'm excited about Brady and fucking Drew Brees, like 85 years between these two guys. Oh, that's the Sunday night game, man. Sunday at 6:40. Tom Brady and the surging Buccaneers against the ageless Drew Brees and the Saints in New Orleans. Oh, my God. I am excited about that game. And you should be too. Are you the type of football fan that once your team is knocked out, you like hate your life and you don't care? Like Kenny in Nashville, his Ravens or his Titans got smoked by the Ravens. Ravens actually wiped their ass on the Titans logo, said, fuck you, left the field. All the Tennessee fans are butthurt now. Do you not watch the Ravens and the Bills? Come on, Bills. Let's do this. That is tomorrow at 8:15. It's a Saturday night event. My God, that's going to be awesome. The early game, fucking Aaron Rodgers, son of a bitch. We all know what's going to happen. Rodgers is going to be 25 for 31, 3 touchdowns, no picks, incredible time management, ability to sense the pressure. The guy is an alien. This is a guy who, okay, he drops back or he gets the ball in the shotgun, and then as soon as that pocket collapses, there's Aaron Donald ready to smash his face. A fucker steps up. Somebody picks up Aaron Donald, and he steps up and shuffles a little to his left, finds so-and-so for 18 when they need 16. Shit! Or he runs somehow for 12 when he needs 10. Damn it! I thought it was frustrating watching Brett Favre beat my teams. But it's Rodgers. The guy, to me, is the greatest Packers quarterback of all time and one of the best of all time. My God, does he frustrate me. Because every time I see him do that shit, I see him doing it to the Lions. Screw you. He's going to beat the Rams. Browns and Chiefs, come on. Let's get serious here. I'd love to see the Browns upset him. I always love an upset. But let's be honest here. The Chiefs are freaking Alabama, okay, of college football. They're like the Alabama equivalent in the pros. So there you go. And here's an interesting thing that happened yesterday. First of all, my Lions, who, some of you care about because I'm based in Michigan. A lot of my audience is from there. So the Lions, I would say quietly, because I kind of just stumbled upon the story. The Lions have announced a general manager. It is a dude by the name of Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes is the new executive vice president and general manager. And this is what I like about this guy. This guy was in charge of college scouting for the Los Angeles Rams. He was the guy who was making the key decision on who to draft when they drafted Aaron Donald, Jared Goff, Cooper Kupp, and a guy named John Johnson, who are all exceptional players. The Rams have been rebuilt over the years. They made it to the Super Bowl, and this guy had a lot to do with that. He's got a lot of great managerial skills. He's got a fucking pedigree track record. He's smart as shit. So they love this guy. Graduated cum laude. I always want to say cum laude. Cum laude, I think that means something. Something significant. I don't think you're an idiot if you're a cum laude guy. Laude, from a school called North Carolina A&T. Graduated in 2002, Bachelor of Science in Journalism and Mass Communications Four-year letterman for the Aggies at defensive tackle. Team captain, helped A&T win the 1999 Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference and Black College National Football Championship. He is the son of Melvin Holmes, who played offensive line for the Steelers. He was part of the Steel Curtain. His dad was. And is also the nephew of former Detroit Lions defensive back Luther Bradley. I remember Luther Bradley back in the day. He is married. His wife, Lisa. Together they have a son named BJ. BJ, ooh. All right, all of this sounds great, but I need to pump the brakes here. I think that in the interview, when they say, yeah, what? Hey, you have kids? Yeah, I got a son named BJ. If I'm Lions management, I say, this is all great, and you look like you're our guy, but take us through naming your son BJ. Why? What do you mean? Well, you see, that means blowjob. And so you do you realize you named your son Blowjob? Well, I don't think that way. Yeah, okay, great. That's nice. But everyone else in the world does. So when the child is a baby and you're contemplating names or maybe leading up to the birth of the child, you had to have decided at some point, we're going to go with calling our son Blowjob. So all of this is great, but I think we need this is a real discrepancy here in the interview process. Anybody who has named their son Blowjob is there's a little bit of the wires aren't touching in one specific spot in your brain, and we need to make sure that that's not going to translate to your judgment when it comes to running the shittiest franchise in America. Okay. We're trying to get out of the shitty mode, and we're concerned with this. Okay. This is what should have happened in the interview at this point, because this guy, Brad Holmes, named his son BJ. The daughter's name is Lola. That's fine. That's Lola. That's great. But naming a young man, naming a baby, a child, a son, BJ, you realize you're setting this kid up for, you better start training him to kick everybody's ass, because he's going to get tons of shit. Why the fuck would you name your son Blowjob? You idiot. Leave it to the Lions to make. I was happy with this pick until I saw the last line of this press release that the Lions' new general manager named his son Blowjob. I'm pissed about this. They should have said, okay, thanks. We got a few other candidates we got to look at, but and he's like, well, wait a minute, what? And then they need to come clean with it on we were going to make Brad, what's his name? Brad Holmes here, the new general manager, but because he named his son Blowjob, we are moving on to other candidates. So, and then because you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, how come you didn't hire that black guy? Well, we were all about it. And this has nothing to do with race. We love everything that Brad Holmes brings. He's an absolute genius. But at the end of the day, do we really want to be having a guy who made the conscientious decision to name his son Blowjob running the football team? Raise your hand if you're on board. No hands go up. Move on to the next candidate. Oh, my God. This is terrible. All right, mark this down. We've all decided that this in 2.5 years, this guy will be fired when they go 0-32 in that time, because we've got a guy who named his kid Blowjob running the team. Terrible, terrible hire. Awful. And also back into the coaching, a new hire. Urban Meyer is back. Do you remember when Urban Meyer, didn't he get out of coaching? Remember, he was at Florida. They were great at Florida with Urban Meyer. And he said, oh, I've got a bad heart. I am going to die if I don't get out of coaching. And everyone's kind of like, you do really? Yeah. I'm retiring for health reasons. And then it takes a little time off. And then boom, he's at Ohio State. Legendary run there. paid his players the most money. Seriously. Put them to new heights. I mean, come on. They're all doing that, aren't they? Now, this guy is coaching the Jacksonville Jaguars. Urban Meyer. Now, this is tough because it doesn't always work out where the college coach makes it on a level with the pros. I mean, you look at Nick Saban. He didn't do shit with Miami. And now, here he is doing amazing things at the college ranks. Sometimes that doesn't always translate. So Urban Meyer is a new coach over there. That will be a very interesting story. I'm anxious to see how this turns out. So he is back at it. In fact, it still is interesting to me. I'm looking at Urban Meyer's Twitter release. Let's see. I'm sorry. That's an old tweet. Urban Meyer on an old tweet back when he was involved with Ohio State. He was one of these guys who doesn't even allow the letter M in his name to show. He has an X. The Ohio State fans, I think, hate the Michigan fans more than the Michigan fans hate the Ohio State fans. And it's weird because Ohio State has basically squashed Michigan to a point that Michigan is like a mid-major college when it comes to the level of competition between the two schools. So, but they still keep the foot on the throat of the Michigan fan, despite the lopsided, matchups between the two. Michigan's best chance against Ohio State was this year when they didn't play. It was a win this year because the humiliation didn't occur because of COVID. They couldn't do it. Good luck, Herb. We got an update on the pigeon. Yesterday, I reported to you that the pigeon was at the Oregon pigeon race, and then the fucking pigeon took off, and all the other pigeons showed up at the coop and said, "Hey, who's the winner?" Well, where's the one at? I don't know where he is. Never showed up. And then they find out that the pigeon traveled 8,000 miles and wound up in the backyard of some dude who was like, "Holy shit, what's this pigeon doing here? I've never seen it before." And then he fed the pigeon, gave it water. The pigeon stays in his backyard. The dude who lives at the house called like the wildlife team in Australia. They said, "Well, hey, this is what we need you to do. Rip the head off the pigeon." What? Yeah, kill the pigeon. We don't allow animals here that are from, we don't want invasive species, whatever the shit, you know how it is. Oh my God. You really want me to kill the pigeon? Yeah, if you don't, we're going to come do it. We're going to hit it with a shovel. That's the end of it. Oh my God, this is terrible. There's a blue band around the ankle of the pigeon, and it has an identifying marker. And so they try to get a hold of who is connected to the marker, and it's some guy who races pigeons in Alabama, and the guy doesn't respond. And so they're like, "Hey, man, your pigeon's going to get killed here." So, this is kind of like tugged at the heartstrings. I talked about it on the show yesterday. Some of you heartless bastards are like, "Yeah, just kill him. That's what you do." What the fuck? I think the pigeon might live. Here's the latest. Because they declared it a biosecurity risk at first, now it's received a reprieve because some U.S. bird organization said that the leg band was a fake. What? The leg band suggested that the bird found on December 26th was a racing pigeon that had flown out of Oregon 2 months earlier, landed on a boat, drifted over, whatever. I don't. It didn't fly all the way to Melbourne. That was the first question people were asking. On that, at least they assume. On that basis, Australian authorities said, "All right, it's a disease risk. We're going to kill it." But now, some guy named Dion Roberts, who is a sport development manager for the American-based American Racing Pigeon Union, said on Friday, "Nope, this is a fake." And everybody's like, "What?" The band belongs to a blue bar pigeon in the United States. The word is stage, which is not the bird pictured in Australia. So they got a picture of the bird, and then they matched it up with what the band was, and the band that's not the right bird. The bird banned in Australia is counterfeit and not traceable. They do not need to kill him, according to this dude, Dion Roberts. Okay, so now Australia's Agriculture Department, which is responsible for this, agreed. The pigeon dubbed Job was wearing a fraudulent copy leg band. Can you imagine if there's another one with a red band? They call it Trump, and it tries to like fucking peck it to death. That was too easy and stupid. Following an investigation, the department has concluded that Joe the pigeon is highly likely to actually be Australian and does not present a biosecurity risk, it said in a statement. The department said it will take no further action. Acting Australian Prime Minister Michael McCormack had earlier said there would be no mercy if the pigeon was from the U.S. If Joe came in a way that has not met our strict biosecurity measures, then bad luck, Joe. Either fly home or face the consequences. That's what the Prime said. But I think it's going to be okay. Andy Medic, a Victorian lawmaker for the Minor Animal Justice Party, called for a pigeon pardon for Joe. But they weren't having anything with it. No way. So I guess it's a fake. It's just weird. It's just I guess at the end they're going to leave it alone, but it's just weird how that came to be. So I don't know. All right, so there you go. Pigeon's going to live. Either that or they're just making that shit up. Okay. They're probably like, you know what? Let's just not deal with the backlash. Make up a fairy tale, and then have Ron in accounting. Go over there with the shovel, take care of the pigeon, and then we release this press release and just have another pigeon, and we're petting it, kind of like a Thanksgiving when they do the stupid presidential turkey pardon. Have the prime minister say, this is Joe the pigeon. It's not. It's some other. We're so happy, and go and live. And he throws into the air, and the pigeon takes off. And thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Meanwhile, there's a guy hitting the other one with a shovel. That's the end of it. That's probably what's actually happening. My God. All right. Commercial for your pal Eric. I do cameos, and I have one to do. In fact, it's a surprise for another listener. These two that keep hiring me to do one for the other guy. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. You can get it on the app on your mobile device. Just search Eric Zane. Or just go online on your desktop or laptop, cameo.com/Eric Zane, and hire me. Book me. $15.99 makes a great gift, better than any greeting card or whatever it is. Anybody who's a fan of the show, even if you're not, I will do a cameo for you. All right? Don't hire me for Proud Boys racist shit like Brett Favre had to do. I'm not going to fall for it. I will decline those. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. Hold on. Hi, Daisy. Hello, puppy. All right. Boy, Daisy's getting fat as hell, by the way. She still takes 1 or 2 walks a day. Each of them is like more than a half mile. And she only eats the same thing she's always eaten every single day. Cup in the morning, cup in the evening. And she's just packing on the pounds. I'm like, what is happening? So I think it's just like a aging metabolism slowing down type deal. But I'm like, she's got 2 new back knees. I would guess that added weight is probably not the best thing for it. So we're working on that. Add that to the pile of things I have to do every day. Add another walk to it. You would have no idea. I mean, you would be surprised at how much it takes to get these dogs out onto the street for a walk. Each dog has a harness. You got to wrangle dogs, chase them around the house to get the harness on. Then we got dog sweaters for each of them. It's hard as hell to get them on. Daisy, she's so fat she can barely get into the damn thing and takes a tremendous amount of time. And I'm alone walking the dogs. Everybody thinks I'm freaking nuts. It takes a tremendous amount of time. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Reach out 231-332-6505. That is the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. So there's never been a better time to get a mortgage right now, no matter where you are in the USA. I tell you, every single day, when the message meets the need, when you need a mortgage, please consider the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Go ahead, call on your cousin or the person you used before, but make Mario part of that process. Reach out to Mario. Send your business to my advertisers, my sponsors, 231-332-6505. And then, of course, my friends at F45 in Byron Center, Michigan. F45training.com/Byron Center. The workouts are 45 minutes long. And if you're in and around Byron Center, Michigan, that's where I want you to go. Try it out for free for 1 week, okay? And you start that process by going to the website. That is F as in Frank, number 5, F45training.com/Byron Center. Thank you. I did not award the asshole of the day, which, by the way, I haven't yet sponsored the asshole of the day. I reached out to Forever Lawn West Michigan to sponsor it. I go, do you guys want to be the sponsor of Asshole of the Day? And they said, yes, we do, but it's too controversial. It's a bad look if we sponsor Asshole of the Day. So I've got a price tag on it. If you want to be a new sponsor and sponsor the Asshole of the Day, we can do that. So it'd be Asshole of the Day brought to you by so-and-so, so-and-so. Thank you for sponsoring the Asshole of the Day. And I can offer this to existing sponsors or new sponsors. Today's Asshole of the Day is, unfortunately, Bitcoin idiot. Because this guy needs to be told that he's an asshole for forgetting his password and blowing $220 million. Seriously. How can you be walking amongst us? So there's your asshole of the day, the Bitcoin asshole idiot. There you go. Congratulations. You just won an award. Reach out to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. If you want to sponsor that. Hang on, I need water. Did I mention the sock brigade today? I think I did. We're meeting today at 4 p.m. at Rosa Parks Circle. Megan, if you could, if you're enjoying the live podcast, or not enjoying it, if you're just hearing it, could you send me, and I might even have the ability to do this, but I forgot how. Kind of like that guy forgot his password. Like a head count to Eric at ericzaneshow.com. To how many we're expecting to be part of the Bombas Sock Brigade. If you want to participate and you're in West Michigan, excuse me, meet me at 4 p.m. at Rosa Parks Circle downtown. Mask up. Bring a backpack if you can. We're going to stuff it full of socks from Bombas, brand new. And then we're going to walk to all of the missions and hand them out. Interact with these folks that are struggling, underprivileged, homeless people. We're going to head over to Hartside Park, where they used to have their encampment, but the city of Grand Rapids said, eat shit to those people. And these people are getting new socks. It's all of us as a group, depending on the number, we'll break up. It just depends on how many people we have. But, yeah, something to do. 4 p.m. is when we're going to get started and meet, and we'll walk around for an hour and a half, maybe till it starts getting dark. And then that's it. Go home. And then we're going to do it again further down the road because the community of underprivileged people, it kind of like is always changing. These people are very transient. So, all right. That's today. Okay, this caught my eye. It was really interesting to see. The podcast is known as the Dale Jr. Download. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Does a sweet podcast, talking racing and NASCAR, and it seems to be a pretty cool vibe in this show. Yeah, that guy's just like 46 years old, man. Good for him for getting out. I think he races still part-time, but he had on his show a guy by the name of Ken Schrader. Now, for those of you who are not aware, Dale Jr.'s dad, I'm guessing most would know, Dale Sr., died in February of 2001. Stand by. Which is crazy to me because that's, the same year for 9/11, later in that year. But those two being so close to each other in time, it seems like the Earnhardt is a lot further long ago. Like it just seems like it happened longer, like much longer than, because 9/11 is still in my brain. I can't believe we're approaching 20 years from 9/11. But nevertheless, at the Daytona 500 in that year, that was the one that Michael Waltrip came in first. Dale Jr. came in second. And as they were driving around the final lap, all those cars bunched up. I think Sterling Marlin made a little bit of contact, or somehow Earnhardt's car touched Marlin's, and Earnhardt careened right into the wall, and Ken Schrader also hit his car. And son of a bitch. It's really weird because on TV, that impact doesn't do it any justice. But Earnhardt hit the wall at 180 miles an hour. But I remember seeing it, and I thought, oh, man, I remember I was one of those guys like, oh, Earnhardt, he got his, he's always fucking spinning people out. Oh, man, that's great. Holy crap, that's great that Michael Waltrip won. My God, it's a big deal. And Darrell Waltrip's in the booth, and the announcer was like, oh, my God, Darrell, how do you feel? And he goes, oh, man, I'm just so happy for Mikey. I'm just so happy. I just hope Dale's okay. He is, isn't he? He actually asked that question. And nobody in their right mind, or nobody knew that Earnhardt was mortally injured. Nobody knew that at this point, because it looked like a routine bump. It didn't look like a big deal at all, but it was. It was a huge deal. His car stops with Schrader's right by him. So these two are both wrecked. Final lap. Schrader gets out. He's like, fuck. And he goes wandering over to Earnhardt's car. He gets over to the car, and he immediately he's panicked. You see him, oh, my God, get over here quick. And so when you're watching that, you're like, well, that was weird. What happened there? Huh, okay, no big deal. And you kind of forgot about it, but something was happening. And then time passes, and you still don't got a feel for it. And then as even more time passed, in fact, what I did was I watched the race happen, and then my plan was watch the race and then take the action. I recorded it onto an actual VCR tape. I went over to a friend of mine's house to watch it with him. He hadn't seen it. And I watched the whole freaking race again. And the story is unfolding while I'm watching the replay of the race. And information didn't travel nearly as far back then, or as fast back then. And then so by the time we watch the race again, it's hours later. I see him crash again. Me and my buddy are like, yeah, fucking Earnhardt. Yeah, he deserved that. He's always wrecking everybody. Fuck him. I'm driving home from his house, and on the radio, they're talking about his death. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then my buddy calls me. I go, oh, my God, he died from that. I can't believe it. So, yeah. And then the dude from NASCAR, he said, we lost Dale Earnhardt today. And it was just crazy. And he suffered what's known as a basal skull fracture, which is a horrible thing. And he had a lot of damage done to him from that hit. But the key thing here, reason why this all comes up, is because the guy who looked into the car, Ken Schrader, who was kind of, checking on him and then was panicked, he saw something. No one knows what he saw. He's never described it. after the race, they interviewed Schrader, and they go, yeah. They go, they asked him, what did you see when you saw Dale? And he goes, I don't know. I just got out of the way. He left it there. He was dodging it and evading it and just keeping it quiet. He didn't say anything. He's never told anybody. And 20 years later, that remains true. And Dale Jr., the son of Dale Earnhardt, has noticed that it has never been described. No one's ever, you might have a tendency to say, give a vivid description of what was going on in there, the positioning of his body. If there was something really, really horrible, you don't know. Schrader has kept that to himself. And Earnhardt Jr. took note of it and has Schrader on his podcast, and he's going to address how appreciative he is to Ken Schrader about keeping it that way, so that you have to wonder what he saw. I mean, just one of those things where kind of like if somebody is in combat, they never really talk about what it was like doing that, and you never ask. Well, people have asked Ken Schrader what he saw, and he's never told anybody. This is how that all sounded on Earnhardt's show when he's talking to Ken Schrader.
I knew he was going to be on this show at some point, and when we figured out we had you booked, I wrote some small notes, and I try not to really. I mean, the big elephant in the room is that on the day my dad was killed, that you were a part of that accident. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to say something about it. We can't do this podcast. We can't have this conversation and ignore it. Right. So I wrote something and I wanted to read it to you if I could.
Don't mess me up here.
I'm not going to mess you up. You don't have to say a word. All right. But I've known you a long time, and a lot of time has passed since that happened. And you've been a great friend to me. You're one of only a few to see the darkest moment for my dad. That you have intimate knowledge of those moments. You are a keeper of that delicate information. It makes me feel close to you, Kenny. Wow. I feel pain for you to have to carry that memory, but you carry it for me. You carry it for Kelly, Dad's family. You carry it for anyone who's ever cheered for him. It's a secret that you'll keep to your last breath. Kenny, I know you might sometimes wish you weren't the one, but I'm glad it was you.
Wow.
And I really appreciate you for who you are and the friend you've been to me.
I'd be a sobbing mess at this point.
Just that little gesture to give me the nod on Kenny Jones. There was a couple drivers.
All right, now this is above my pay grade. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
In the last couple of decades that gave me some great advice, really, really good advice.
Wasn't Kenny Jones the replacement drummer for The Who when Keith Moon died?
In particular times, and just to do that small thing, you knew it was a big thing to put Kenny with me. You knew how good a person Kenny was. You knew how important he was.
Yeah, man, I know it.
In your life, and how important he would become in mine. He means the world to me and Amy, and I just appreciate it.
Well, I love you guys, but the best advice I ever gave you didn't listen to. Don't look at your dad and don't breathe on him.
I'm not sure whether
screwed that up.
I swear I didn't breathe on him. I didn't say a word to him.
I think it's a callback to an inside joke.
He just knew.
All right, that is cool. The Dale Jr. download is the name of that. I don't know, man. I thought that was just great. And hats off to Kenny Schrader. I mean, in a day and an age when, people love to talk. They love to talk. I mean, we look no further than this Tiger Woods documentary with all of these people coming out of the woodwork and just murdering him. A guy like Kenny Schrader has held on to those specific details that he could very easily have offered up at any one point. That is fantastic. I had no idea. Very, very cool. All right. Joe Martinez is coming over on Monday, and he is going to install the Remy Halo. The Remy Halo hooks up to your air conditioning and your heating systems. And what it does with, I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to find out from Joe. To me, it's magic, but I think it's some degree of lighting, particular lighting. What it does is it takes all the little shit in the air going through your system, and it destroys it. Okay. Now, the average person is going to cost you about $750 or something like that to get something like this installed. Well, you're going to save $100 when you mention the show. So, yeah, this thing gets rid of harmful pollen, pet dander, bacteria, viruses, all these things that float through the air and can get you sick. I mean, this is most important during this season when everything's closed up and you're just recirculating the same air over and over and over again. You should consider the Remy Halo. Now, when he comes over on Monday, thank God Diana won't be here because she'll probably throw her underwear at him and try to sit on his face. Totally kidding. No, I'm going to shoot some video of Joe installing that bad boy, and you'll be able to see exactly what we got going on here. If you want more info about it and maybe hire Joe, reach out to him, 616-516-8579 for Joe Martinez at A&E Heating and Cooling. Meanwhile, Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. I owe you another visit. I've got another oil change that needs to happen. This time it's the truck. The embellisher needs more work. Thank you. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, 616-532-6600. They, of course, service domestic, Asian, and European models right here in West Michigan. No matter where you are, I have a great team that can fix your car. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Go to their website, irvines.com, to look at some of the Google reviews, the great rating that they have. They are awesome. Thank you, Irvines. All right. Let's see. Jesse, he also wants to be a Forever Lawn West Michigan email of the day. Jesse writes, Zane, pertaining to Bitcoin, I love Bitcoin. I will pay for Patreon in Bitcoin if you want. I missed most of your opinion on it, and we'll have to go back and listen. Well, I don't have an opinion. I don't know what the fuck it is. He writes, I heard of Bitcoin back in 2013, but never invested in it until 2016. You see, that's what's confusing to me. What exactly are you investing in? Explain this to me in really dumb terms. Because, like, if I invest in a company, like, let's say Caterpillar, they make fucking construction equipment. Publicly traded company. I am giving them money to build their company. And then when they increase their worth, the value of the share that I purchased increases. You see what I mean there? How the fuck does that apply to Bitcoin? I sound like such a stupid old man. So what the fuck are you invested in? It is very confusing, but in layman's terms, a network of computers process transactions of Bitcoin between people autonomously, removing the chances of fraud. I'm lost. That sentence lost me. I'm gone. Bitcoin is also created at a specified rate until 21 million coins are in circulation to limit inflation. This sounds as complex as like the fucking rapture. More detailed, if interested. More detailed. Is this going to make it worse? It is decentralized, meaning no one company runs Bitcoin. It is operated by thousands of miners across the world. Now, I have heard of this, but I don't know. I'm not sure what it means. Miners are basically computers that are set up to process hard math problems, and whoever solves the math problem, whoever, you mean whatever computer? Whoever, are you referring to whoever as a computer? Whoever solves it first gets to process the current batch of transactions called a block. These blocks will be processed by multiple miners to confirm the transaction is legitimate and not fraud. The miners who process the blocks are paid in Bitcoin. This is why people buy and build mining machines. My boss has 2 machines. They cost $5,000 each. The idea is this would replace the dollar and become global currency, but there are many flaws. It was well thought out, but transactions take too long to process and cost too much money. Yeah, fuck all of this. This is all horse shit. Fuck you. Fuck your coins. Fuck your password. Fuck that asshole who lost his password. And eat shit. No. That's just too dumb for me. No, I'm not. No, I'm too dumb for it. It's just too much. No way. Forget it. New message from Jenny. Jenny. God, it's the same guy he emailed. Jesse. New message from Jesse. All right, I listened back. So people who buy Bitcoin can store it on an exchange such as Coinbase, which you log in with a regular email and password. The exchange is there, and you can convert it to cash like dollars or other cryptocurrencies. You can also send or receive Bitcoin on Coinbase. No. Sorry. You do know a lot about it, Jesse/Jenny. My God. All right. So, I've gone down. I've talked about this before. This is the story of the guy in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Strickland is his name. Yes, that's right. Strickland. He's a guy who's a pastor of some Baptist church. And I think he or his wife or both of them work in the schools or worked in the schools as parapros. And they had been accused by cops. They are accused of cops of enticing the young people that they work with in those organizations, the schools and the church, of paying them money to butt slam Strickland's wife. Her name is Jazz Monique Strickland. And then they can, so basically trafficking so that Strickland's wife can get taken to Pound Town. So they're hiring like 13 and 14-year-old kids and 15-year-old kids, according to the cops, to have sex with the wife. This thing is so fucked. And now I don't think she had been indicted yet, but now she's in trouble too. I know he had been in trouble, but I don't think she had been in trouble. But we were kind of just waiting for that to happen, and that's happened.
Up tonight on News 8 at 5, developing news out of Kalamazoo. The wife of a pastor accused of paying teenagers for sex is now facing charges.
Target 8 investigator Susan Samples has followed this case for years, and she's at the live desk with the latest. Susan.
Strick and Jasmonique Strickland are accused of using their positions at a Kalamazoo church and the Kalamazoo Public School District to coerce teen boys into sex. Court record.
Yeah, this is the dude. The husband worked at the church. I mean, obviously he was the pastor, and worked with Kalamazoo Public Schools. And cops say he then enticed these very young boys, teenage age boys, 13 to 15. I mean, how do you bring that up? I mean, how do you, my God, the boldness by this guy Strickland, from what the cops say he did, to approach a kid to do something like this. That is really strange to me. The whole molding process, if what they say is true, happening, making these kids and brainwashing them and trafficking them for something like this is really sinister and awful.
show Jasminique Strickland is now facing 3 counts of third-degree criminal sexual conduct, as well as 2 counts of child sexually abusive activity and 3 counts of human trafficking a minor. She has not yet been officially charged. Last September, her husband, Strickjavar Strickland, was charged with
Strickjavar Strickland is this fucking idiot's name.
Several child sex abuse counts himself. Strickland is the former pastor of Second Baptist Church and worked for Kalamazoo Public Schools. Investigators allege Strickland paid the teens to have sex with Jasminique and send him nude photos. This is all allegedly happened between 2015 and 2018. Strickland has denied the allegations. Again, Jasminique has not been formally charged as of yet. We'll continue to follow her case and keep you updated.
My God. That is just sickening. And then the whole deal about, I understand that people might be a little bit adventurous in their sexuality. You hear about there's people in the world where, like, the husband and wife, they're in a relation, they're doing their thing, and they're like they somehow communicate that the exploration of their sexuality, other guys having sex with the wife, and then the husband would watch it or video it. That's a thing. And I'm just blown away at some of the fucking shit that people do, because it's so not in my wheelhouse. And so this is like that, but with kids. Son of a bitch, how sick. Sex makes people insane. People do weirdo shit because of sex. My God. Fucking terrible. Ugh. Awful. And God help those poor kids. What they've been, their brains have just been put in a spot that young brains shouldn't be in, and the formation of the mind. This is what eventually leads to young people then going on to having horrible relationships when they become adults, things like that, or even worse, criminal activity. So in my opinion, these two, if they are found guilty, should have long prison sentences. I mean, this is a level of abuse that is it's just so damaging to these young people. I just can't even believe that someone would be so heartless to actually do this to because kids, they don't know better, and so they probably convinced them that this is a great thing, and they're fucking having sex, okay, with a chick who's an older woman. For a lot of young kids, and especially boys and adolescents, this is like a fantasy. So he's playing into that, and that's something that's completely inappropriate and awful. And hopefully, it doesn't go to affect those kids long form further down the road. All right. As I wind up this show, I see that I have gotten a cameo from Fuckface Nick in Maine. All right. Now, Patriot Nick, as he's sometimes known, it just showed up, has booked me for this, and I have been asked to do these live before, so this will give you a great example of what it's like when I do cameos, because the only thing different between doing a cameo when I don't have normally and now is that the mic is on and the camera is on. I usually one take these fuckers, okay? So it's and he's asking for a roast. He says, apparently I have to pay you to get a half decent roast. All right. I want you to roast my ass fucker live. So, all right, let's wrap up the show doing it like this. So basically what I do is, you see, it shows up like this on the app. And then you just hit this little camera icon. It says 3, 2, 1, and then it records. And then I hit upload, and then he gets it, and then we're all happy. But he wants me to do it live. So I don't give a shit. I'll do it live. I do this stuff live all the time. Well, I shouldn't say I do it live all the time. I one take it all the time. So this is no problem. And there's a lot to work with you. I'll save it for it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, well. Here we are. You think you're fucking funny, don't you? Patriot Nick. Fuckface Nick. clouded with all of his main bullshit. Live free, die, New England chowder, lobster, fucking ugly beard. You are so lucky. Thank God your wife has poor vision because she's just an angel. I mean, my God, to have to put up with you and that fucking squirrel's nest that you have on your fucking face with various bits of chowder and leftover lobster chunks on it, and the fuck that the whole idea that you've pretty much maximized your earning potential. The fact that when you dropped to your knee and said, hey, honey, hey, what do you say we get married here? What do you say? Yeah, hey, car, chowder, fucking New England, fuck, shit, fuck. How about you marry me? And she said, yes, is an absolute miracle. Again, you got to get her better glasses. No. Don't do that, because as soon as you get her the Coke bottle glasses and she puts them on and she sees the fucking disaster in front of her face, she's going to go, oh, my God. And she's going to head for the hills. You're never going to see her again. You're done. So don't do that. Don't buy her the glasses. I will work with you on this. Yes, you're a fucking moron. But at the end of the day, I want you happy. And what she doesn't know won't hurt her. So I'm sorry about the blindness. But you guys can get through together. So, yeah, don't do any of that. And then, but I think you might struggle with the whole business of, hey, honey, we got to go look for another loan again from the government because we're so destitute because I've maximized my earning potential. Holy shit. Maybe you could call up that guy I just talked about, Strickland, and maybe you can take his wife to Pound Town for, I don't know, a new corncob pipe collection, you stupid fuck. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, Nick. Give my best to your better half, and please let her know how sorry I am that she has to see you and your little pin dick. Go fuck yourself. All right. That's how you do that shit. You think I was kidding? I just uploaded it. It should be in your inbox. You can masturbate to it later, you stupid cock. Have a great day, folks. Talk to you next time. Got the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast tonight. Sign up for patreon.com/EricZane. I would appreciate that. And then we got the Patreon bonus in just a bit. If you ever want to hire me for the live cameo, I'll do that shit all damn day. All right, folks. Have a good one. Bye-bye.